Hey everyone, welcome back to Dr. Sean's Cannabis Product Reviews, and welcome to my new studio, which was my music studio back in high school. It's in my parents' basement, so I kind of feel like I'm back in high school, hiding out in the basement. Today I am reviewing probably my last cannabis beverage for a while, but it's a doozy. It's the
A deep space.
Now, Deep Space comes from Canopy Growth, which is a huge licensed producer here in Canada. It retails on the Ontario Cannabis Store for $9.20. It has 10 milligrams of THC, so I think this is the most potent THC beverage on the recreational market right now, which is pretty cool. So at $9.20, it kind of makes sense because most of the other beverages come in at about 2 milligrams or 2.5 milligrams of THC, and they retail anywhere from like $5 to $7. So essentially, you're paying a little bit more for like quadruple the dose of THC. So I think the price is pretty much right with this can. Now, the THC comes from a sativa dominant extract, and keeping with sort of sativas, I didn't find this one particularly sedating, so that may be because of the sativa lineage of the extract. Now, some allergens to watch out for. It does contain soy, just like all the other beverages. And again, the soy, I think, is used to as an emulsification factor to bring in the cannabis extract and make it water soluble so it stays in the beverage. There's also sulfites in here. Sulfites are usually used as a preservative, so just keep in mind those are in here. Now, their slogan on the Ontario Cannabis Store is small, potent, and ready to go. They say it has a bold taste and full flavored. So let's see if that rings true. Now, one thing to note as well in terms of ingredients, it contains 22 grams of sugar. So according to Health Canada, you want your maximum sugar intake to be less than 10% of your total calorie intake for the day. So for those of us consuming around a 2,000 calorie amount per day, that's about 50 grams. That's your max amount of sugar. So this is about half of your total or what should be your total sugar intake for the day. So just keep that in mind. If you have two of these, that's pretty much your maximum sugar intake for the day. So let's talk a little bit about the flavor. So the closest thing I could think of when I was thinking about, what does this flavor remind me of, is Brio. So that Italian cola soda, which has quinine in it, which gives it a little bit of a bitter taste. So this does taste like that. It's like a cola, but there is a very noticeable bitterness to it. So I don't mind a little bit of bitterness. I kind of like it, but I could imagine that might be a little bit of a surprise, maybe a little bit off-putting to some of the recreational users out there. So just keep that in mind. It is bitter, especially in sort of the finish of the taste. Now, the effects. The effects set in for me at around 30 to 60 minutes, so pretty quick. And I find the beverages tend to be a quicker onset of effects than the edibles. And then the potency, so it was potent, but not as potent as I thought it might be. So when I first started drinking this, I was kind of like expecting to be, really sort of like floating in space, lost in space, really intense effects, because I'm used to drinking these 2.5 milligram THC beverages, and I do still feel those. And so this was like quadruple the dose. So definitely got me high, but it wasn't that intense. Like I could definitely function still, which I guess can be a good thing, but my expectation was to feel a little bit more of an intense effect than I did. So I guess, take it as you will. That could be a positive for some people, especially if they're new to recreational cannabis. It won't give them a terribly bad experience. But, for me, I was expecting something a little something to really give me a punch, and it just missed that mark. What I'm going to give this one, the Deep Space, a 7 out of 10 for the following reasons. So 1 point I feel was lost on the amount of sugar. Now I get it; these drinks require sugar, and sodas contain sugar. But for me, as a naturopathic doctor, I prefer something with less sugar or sugar-free. Like the house plant grapefruit beverage was a home run. It tasted great and it was sugar-free, and I felt the effects of it pretty good. So don't love the amount of sugar in there. The taste, so again, I don't mind the bitterness, but I would imagine that might be a little bit surprising and off-putting to some of those recreational consumers out there. And then lastly, the effects. So the effects were good. I was definitely high, but it wasn't as tense as I thought it might be. So I'm going to have to take off a point just for effects. So that's why I give it a 7 out of 10. So that's it for the Deep Space beverage on the recreational market here in Canada. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like these reviews. It really motivates me to keep doing them, to keep making them better for you guys. So do subscribe, and I'll be back with another review for you shortly.